Linus Village Productions.
Hi everyone!
Hi!
What a terrible introduction we do. We're terrible at this. Hi everyone. No, genuinely. This is our first episode of this podcast, our lovely little baby known as Off Script.
I feel like you really had to vamp there to remember what it was called.
I don't know what you're talking about. I clearly know all of our production stuff.
Yeah.
No idea what you're talking about. Definitely didn't have to look at the monitor. But no, welcome to Off Script, which with your host Lloyd and Benjamin. Sorry, I was like gonna be like, hi, my name is Ben, I'm the host, and here's my co-host. But then like I felt like it was then be like, oh, and introduce you to my guest Lloyd Mitchell.
Right, yes,
because
it's your podcast.
It's my podcast. It's your
your podcast.
Yeah. So I appreciate you being a part of this. No, sorry, we'll retake that. Hi Lloyd, nice to meet you.
Yes, I'm Lloyd. That thing over there is Ben, and for some reason we decided that we want to talk to each other and to you about acting.
This is very true.
That's all you needed to say.
That's all I needed to say. Thank you for Lloyd for keeping me on track as normal. But yeah, no,
Is this how it's going to proceed?
This is how it's going to be. I clearly have no idea what I'm doing. The dynamic is you just keep me on track. Otherwise, I will just talk. You know I will. Like, this is not new.
Okay.
Our friendship has been through rough patches before.
That's it.
No, I don't.
You just don't say things in your mind. Right, hang on. If we're going to start as we need to continue.
Yeah.
What do you want to do first?
Well, so why are we making the podcast? I think we need to address, and it's purely because I like to ramble and I like to talk. But Lloyd wants to do it for a genuine, nearly nice reason, which is you want to talk about acting. No,
Yeah.
No, we wanted an excuse to talk to each other, because we have busy lives, and it's nice to sit down for an hour and talk about a certain topic. But also, I think it's really important that, you know, as people who want to be in the industry and are working towards that goal and working towards becoming sort of, you know, professional actors and trying to get gigs and you know, the life of working actors, I think, and you know, we've talked about this before making the podcast, that you always see the end result, right?
Yeah.
You know, and you always see famous actors being like, oh, I was in a dingy apartment in New York City, and then the next week I was on a Broadway production, you know, and you don't really hear about the middle,
the in between.
Yeah. And I think that's really important, and you know, and I think it ultimately it was your idea, I think, and I think it is a really solid idea, and it's an excuse to talk about it.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a lot of, like, as you said, like, from this to this, and I think it's nice for us to get together and talk about the in-between, the stuff that all actors all over the world struggle with, who are trying to get jobs and who are doing the nitty-gritty. Like, we all know, like, the stereotype that every actor is in your local bar serving the pints, or like working in restaurants, doing what we call like muggle jobs to get through. And I think it'd be I want this to be a nice space for us to be able to talk about acting and that sort of thing, with like-minded people like yourself, and it'd just be nice for us to do. And I think that was the idea.
And gives a space and a platform for other people who are interested in seeing sort of that side of the industry, you know, the working side of it, the meat and potatoes, but also, like, I think seeing two people go through it as well, you know, because we're not there, we're not where we want to be quite yet, and you know, and I think our experience, hopefully our experience will give a different sort of, you know, avenue and perspective on what acting and stagecraft and TV and film and all these other things actually is like, because I think there's a lot of there's a lot of fantasy around it.
Mm.
There's a lot of this almost feels a bit magical getting into it. You hear stories and you oh yes, or stage.
You hear a
work
lot
is
about
like
it being like right place, right time. That's what you get. Like,
that is the most common thing I got told. I think one of the other statements that my family used to tell me when when I was younger, I'd always be like, I want to be an actor, and they'd be like, oh, you've got more chance going to space, and it's like, what kind of, and they've always been really supportive of me, but what kind of supportive statement is that? But I think a lot of people think of it that way. There's a lot of people who go, oh, well, it doesn't necessarily matter how good you are. It's luck. It's being knowing the right people, and it's being in the right place. And look, we'd be foolish to say that there's not an element of that, but I don't think that's necessarily true at all. There's loads of things.
I also don't think though that that's the end goal. Like, the end goal is not to be on the television, not to be on in the films per se, because everyone strives for that kind of thing. But I find joy in the performances that I do, either locally or on small projects. The end goal is, for me, is not to be in the movies. The end goal is to enjoy what I do and be able to make a sustainable income from what I enjoy doing. And I think that's my goal. That's what I want to do.
It's the argument of, if you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? And I think ultimately that is it. And I think a lot of, especially when I was younger, the end goal was to be in a movie, because that's the fantasy around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I think you're absolutely right. Of it's not, as you get older, you change, and you're like, I want to be able to make a nice, comfortable living doing what I enjoy and performing and getting to experience all these creative aspects of what performance is, whether that is and it doesn't, I don't think it necessarily has to stop on stage. I've done really creative and interesting things behind the stage, behind the camera, which when I was going through sort of learning who I was and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, I would have never considered. Absolutely. And I think that's really interesting.
Let's talk about who we are.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's all very well and good chatting absolute rubbish, but no one knows who we are.
Exactly.
So, do you want to go first, or
I can go first? Absolutely. I mean, look. So I've got a heavy background in stage work. That's where sort of I've done a lot of my sort of either education in theatre studies and things like that, or whether that is actual amateur, semi-professional, professional work. Like, a lot of it has been on stage. As a youngster, let's say, I was really into the sort of local, I said local West Yorkshire productions scene. I did a lot of sort of musicals and stage work as a kid, and sort of variety performances and things like that. I was big into that. I've got, not degrees. That's not the word. But I've got education in lots of different dance techniques, jazz, ballet, classical, things like that. And actually, I come from. I'm not overly a musical guy, but I come from a musical background because I did musical theatre as a college sort of aspect, alongside my theatre studies and elements, stuff like that. Went to University of Cumbria, loved it, excellent place. Sadly, it doesn't have a performing arts degree anymore or anything like that, as they've had to shut that down. But it was a wonderful time. It's where I met my wonderful co-host Lloyd Mitchell, and we did many performances together.
That's a strange way of saying best friend.
Co-host, acquaintance.
Oh, yeah.
Told you, rough patch.
Yeah.
But no, and then going on to do a few musicals locally around West Yorkshire. Once again, even though I'm not a musical guy, and yeah, doing a lot of stage productions, non sort of touring, always being in the same place, week in, week out. I've done some stuff in Leeds, I've done some stuff in Huddersfield, Manchester, did a stint of some stuff in Liverpool, and then got my hands on some voice acting stuff. I've done, like recently, probably not anything that anyone's familiar with, but I've done, I say in the last couple of years, I've done quite a lot of voice acting.
That's good.
I've been in some adverts. I've been in some sort of YouTube, because that's becoming a lot bigger. Some productions on YouTube, so that's been really interesting. I've auditioned for a hell of a lot of like games, and done voiceover work for them, and done some extra work for that. So yeah, that's kind of where I fit into performance and acting and things like that. What about yourself?
So I'm growing up in the northwest of England, so sort of like around Blackpool way. So I've always had my hand in like performance because I'm close to Manchester. I've got an agency in Media City, so I've been doing work with them for a long time. I did a job in Manchester for So Awkward. I don't know if you know. I don't think you'll know that. But it's a kids show on CBBC, which was an amazing experience. So I did that. I've done a couple of commercials. So I did the Corn adverts back in 2017, which was a great experience as well. I got to meet a lovely lady who played my mum in that. Was the voice of Wendy from Bob the Builder, the original series. So that's quite cool. And I'm a big Doctor Who fan as well, which is something I wanted to mention slightly away from.
You just wanted to get it in. There was
I
nothing.
did.
There was no relevance to that at all. You just want to
Actually,
get.
there's a little bit. There's a little bit relevant.
All right, okay.
No, there's a little bit relevant. The guy that played my dad in the Corn advert played Clara's dad in an episode of Doctor Who. So that's quite cool as well. So I've done a couple of things.
Is that your claim to fame? That.
Oh yeah. I'm
yeah.
Clara Oswald's half brother.
Is that how that works across dimensions and across media?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it does.
Sorry. Carry on.
Anyway, yeah. So since then, I went away to work for Disney Cruise Line, in the entertainment department. So I was doing like deck shows, and I was doing quizzes and stuff like that. Had a great time over there. Did that for a while. I was working on the Disney Wish. Then I worked on the first team on the Disney Treasure. So that was cool. Got to travel to Amsterdam, then to Mallorca, then to New York, did the transatlantic over to New York, and then back to Florida. So I did loads and loads of stuff on that. Coming back, I've started some projects. I'm doing a radio show. Obviously, we're doing this. And I'm currently rehearsing for a... well, I say currently. I will be rehearsing for a production of 1984, which will be happening at the start of summer, end of spring. So that's going to be quite cool, of 2026.
2026, yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Cool.
so that's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, since then, that's the kind of stuff I've been doing. So yeah, that's me, I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, ultimately, I think we've got a quite varied, between us, we've got quite a varied sort of, scope, I guess is the word of what we've done. I think you've definitely done a lot more in TV and film and sort of, bigger productions, so to speak. Whereas I think I ended up being a lot more local and sort of getting involved in that scene. And like I said earlier,
which is great.
Behind the scenes stuff as well. I've helped with sort of local small sort of indie films, like where I've helped with camera work and set work and stuff like that.
No, that's cool. That's nice.
There's some really cool stuff with that, and like I say, I think when you're wanting to be an actor, you sort of forget that kind of stuff exists. Like
it takes a big team to do, not only in like television but also on the stage as well. There's such a massive team. It's not just about the actors on the screen or like on the stage.
No, and I think it's really cool. I tried to say cool and good apparently at the same time.
It is good and cool.
It's cool,
It's ghoul.
It's ghoul.
Ooh.
It's ghoul.
Ghoul.
Yeah, cool. I'm taking that.
Yes. So yeah, the theme today is it's voice acting.
Oh,
isn't it?
Funny that.
It's funny that you say that because you did such a good job of asking me what. Oh my god! Right. Anyway, yes,
Set you up.
we're talking about voice acting today.
Yes,
Very good.
Yes,
I
we are.
like
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. Yeah, we're talking about voice acting. And there's a load of different aspects of voice acting. I think one of the parts that I want to talk about, and it's something that we're experiencing now as we do this podcast. It's something that I've certainly been dealing with over the course of the last couple of years. And you sort of, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just about voice acting. It can be about audio recording and just audio working at home and away. But I think the first thing I want to address is that you don't have to have a good microphone.
Right. Yeah.
And the reason why I want to address that is because one, oftentimes with voiceover work and recording, when you send them your show reel, your audio show reel, they'll often bring you into a studio and they'll record it professionally, and so you've got that kind of backing. They're not really looking for that audio show reel to be perfect A grade. They just want to hear what you like. They want to hear your voice, right? They want to hear what your range is and what you can do. So you don't need to have an amazing mic. However, the second thing is mobile phones are now so good at what they do. Yeah. You don't need a microphone. I mean, there's so many people who use phones.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I booked one of my, I booked that Quorn commercial with just my phone.
Yeah.
And I booked I did something for the NHS, which was it was the Rise Above campaign. It was amazing, and I basically had to do it was voice acting. It was a voiceover, and I remember sitting. It was while we were at uni, actually, sitting upstairs in my bedroom with the lines, and I remember sitting down and having my phone on my legs, just on top of my kneecap, just reading the lines and recording it. And when you do so many auditions, you kind of just you send them in, you forget about them because
you're doing
odds
so
on,
many.
Odds on you just send it off and you forget about it. So anyway, I was doing that and I just thought, you know what, I haven't got, because I was gonna go. I've got all this stuff now, but I was gonna buy something specifically for it because it was important. But I ended up sitting there doing it, and I got it. I booked it because I was sat there reading the lines earnestly, and my phone was there. It doesn't take big setups. It really doesn't. And I think it's important to remember that.
And I think you're right. It doesn't need big setups. And if you are experiencing audio drift, or if you are getting echo, or I mean, look, in my flat where I'm recording this from, my floors are made of wood. There's a load of, there's quite a lot of echo. There's things that you can absolutely do to try and minimize that. Obviously you get a microphone with a pop filter's great. Don't get me wrong, but the amount of times that I've put up. Yeah, go on. Towels. I was just about to say, the amount of times I put towels, around me. I once recorded when I had one of my older mics. It didn't have a pop filter, and it was causing a load of feedback. And I draped a towel over my head and recorded it here. And,
wow.
Yeah, and there's different ways to do it, and you don't have to be as extreme as that. I think. I've sat in cupboards before with loads of clothes and recorded it. Had my phone out and gone, to try and dampen the noise. You do loads of things. I mean, that once again, that's quite drastic. But putting additional clothes around you, having soft areas, Oh, I mean, for God's sake, I've used dressing gowns and jumpers before. Things like that. You just put soft things.
Have you ever done voiceover character work?
So I've never done. No, that's not true.
Like character voices.
So I've never done. What are you meaning by character voices? Are you meaning just so that I understand? Are you meaning character in the sense of you're playing the mannerisms of a character and you're doing a silly voice for it, or you're completely changing it, or a character voice in the sense of you are embodying an accent of a character and you're working as a character?
Well, from my own experience, I'm talking about voicing a tomato.
Okay. Yes, I have done that. So. No, because I've kind of done a little bit of both. I've done less of the characters of which you're talking about, and more of the sort of, embodying a character. I've never done a tomato. Can't really say I've ever done a tomato.
You see,
but
I have done a
right,
tomato.
Okay. I want to hear your tomato story. Let's.
You want to hear my
I want to hear
tomato story?
Lloyd the tomato. What was it? Lloyd the tomato, or was it?
No, it was. No, actually, it was such a long time ago. I remember sitting down to record it again with my phone, because I didn't have a microphone at that point, and it was something to do. I think it was like a kids show.
Right. Okay.
And basically there was a superhero, and he was a tomato. He was a superhero tomato, and I remember having I had so much fun, because I thought, at this point I thought, this cannot be serious.
Yeah.
Unless they were in Batman as a tomato, I can't really go wrong with where I went with it. So I just did this stupid high-pitched, I don't know, high-pitched, but also really. No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
I want to hear your tomato, Lloyd. Come on.
I can't
give the people what they want. When I pay people, I mean me. And I love this.
I'm not doing super tomato.
No, but no, I think you're right though. It's sometimes when you do character work. I've never professionally done voice character work, but when I've done it sort of amateurly or in my free time, that makes it sound like I just sit around and. In fairness, that is not necessarily untrue, and
that is not untrue.
Yeah, that is not untrue.
To pivot slightly,
go on.
You're constantly doing voices
Yes.
and character voices for
I
our
am.
D&D campaign.
Yes, we play a lot of D&D. We're very big nerds.
We do.
Yes, I am said DM for said group. And I think look, it's not professional, but D&D's great. What else can I say about it? But no, I think voice work, when it comes to things like that, is really good practice. Not that you need to play D&D at all to be a good voice actor, but it certainly helps.
Well, I was just saying that it's good for developing character.
Yes, it lets me.
As a DM.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's nothing wrong though with sitting in front of a mirror and just talking to yourself. That makes me sound crazy. That makes me sound nuts. But it is a genuine technique. No, I mean, look.
No, I get it.
I've sat when I've been doing auditions for or preparing for something that I'm audio recording. And it takes me on to my next topic, which is just because it's audio doesn't mean mannerisms and actions aren't important. I think you should perform it very similar to how you do it on stage or in front of a TV, in front of a camera, you've got to embody the character. You can't. I mean, some people can just sit there and but if you've ever watched proper voice actors, I say proper voice actors.
Robin Williams was one.
Robin Williams is a great example. He, you get into the character, you're big, you're wild with it. You've got to do that. And I think sitting in front of a mirror, reading a script, seeing how you are embodying that character, seeing what you're doing, it's crucial. Yeah. It's really important so that you understand how much energy you're giving it. Because there are times when I've been reading the script and my voice is, I think I'm giving it lots of this. And then I look up and I'm just nodding along and I'm not really doing anything. Yeah. And I go, right, okay, let's lock in here. Let's up the ante. Let's give it a little bit more. And you'd be shocked of how much improvement that gives to your vocal cords, to the energy that you're putting into it. You know, and it's like, you know, even just pushing it out of yourself as you, you know, I don't know how to explain that, but I can just make the noise, you know, like.
Well,
but that's
there's
the
an
feeling.
awful lot of experimentation, though. There's an awful lot of experimentation when it comes to this sort of thing. Like, because I'm obviously we're doing a radio show, and a lot of it like comes down to like, we just need this one section, and we need you to just grunt as if you're lifting something heavily, and it's like,
So
how does one do? I mean, the obvious thing to do would probably to bring something into the room that is heavy.
Something heavy.
Or,
I've done that before. So I was part of a so I got additional roles. It's called additional roles. Like it's just grunting and moaning and for
I can see why that would be important.
No, but like I got it for an indie game. I think it was like a shooter or something. And part of the script and part of the brief was like, we want you to act like you're getting hit by a heavy object. And so the amount of times I'm stood once again in front of a mirror with recording going, you know, getting hit. But like, I don't think you're wrong of like, if you are asked to lift something heavy, one of the best ways to do the task is to lift something heavy and and make it vocal. Like, there is nothing wrong with getting physical with it. Just because you're behind a microphone does not mean you cannot be physical with it.
I mean, if I'm doing like I've run like a character that's run out of breath, I'm running on the spot, and then like, but even I don't have to be out of breath. I just have to be in like mentally like, all right, I'm out of breath. I've run for a while. This is how you just talk.
Like, I think, and slightly off topic here, but a great example of something like that is, I know you have, but you've played PS4 Spider-Man, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And there's a part of it where if like they recorded, I think it's Yuri, I can't remember his last name, Yuri, someone or other, who plays Spider-Man, and they had him record lines differently depending on what he was doing. So if he was stood straight, they had him record him normally. But if he was swinging, if you're playing him as swinging, like he plays it a little bit out of breath as he's doing it. And I think, and it makes you immersed. I think that is a really great example of like why it's important to be doing stuff like that.
Incredible. It is incredible. Like the versatility. If we're going to talk about games, the versatility when it comes to voice acting is unbelievable. The what you just said, like imagine just could you like, it would really take it out of you if he was just saying it as if he was just stood on the street if he was swinging. So they really think of everything. They really do.
And that's in a video game, right? But you still got the visual element. I mean, you've spoken about a radio player that you're doing. How, from your point of view, then, how, because you've got to work so much harder, I think, when you haven't got visual, right? So how do you, and I guess your team and your cast, how do you make the scene feel whole? You know, it's hard.
It is. It's really tough. I think a lot of it comes just down to like bouncing off of each other, feeling the tone of the scene, because all you've got are, because obviously all the stuff like the bangs and clangs and all the special effects and the sounds come in afterwards. So you've really got to envision the whole scene and bounce off each other. It's really about knowing the context. You've got to know the context.
Do you record? You said bouncing off each other. Do you record in person? Is it something that you're all in the same room and you're all recording?
Yeah.
Okay, I've never had that experience. When I've done audio stuff, or if I'm in a scene with someone, I've always either done my lines and sent it off, or they've done their lines, and the director or producer or whoever is running it has gone, oh right, I want you to listen to that, and then I want you to respond to what they're doing. So I've never had the privilege of actually standing in the same room with someone and bounce off them.
I've kind of done both.
Okay.
With the Rise Above campaign, there were like two different sets of lines, but both were me. So we had to read my lines, and then I had to read back to myself as if I was answering myself.
Okay.
So that was a strange situation. But also, like I find that being in the room with the other actors is just the best way forward, because you can bounce off each other and it makes sense. The scene carries on as if you were acting.
And you get that chemistry, don't you? You know, just like you're on stage, just like you're on, you know, film. You get that chemistry, and I think chemistry is so important in anything we do. You know, not just voice acting, not just stage. You know, I think you've got to match another person's energy, and I think that's true with everything, not just voice acting, but certainly voice acting. If you have the privilege of being in the same room as your other members of the cast, you've got to match their energy. You can't.
Yeah, you do.
You know, if someone's jumping about, you've almost got to be jumping about. Even if you think it sounds the same, you've got to be matching the energy, because they're playing off you and you're playing off them. And, and you know, sometimes if you don't rise to the occasion, like it can affect their performance. You know, you sound different, and you know it's addressing what you said.
Unless there is a contextual reason as to why you don't sound like them, then you've got to match the energy in the room. Because if you sound off, then it brings you out of the it brings you out of the performance. It kind of makes you think, oh, that didn't sound right, you know.
But I mean,
but there you go.
It's not just radio players. You know, I think it's important to address that. I think when you think of voice acting, you think of video games. I think or I think more recently sort of dubbing anime and stuff like that, you know. So like I think there's an element of that animation, but it's not just that, is it? You know, I mean, there's dubbing, there's radio plays, there's commercials. I did an audio commercial for Health Watch, the charity. Ooh. Yeah, so I had to be a patient. It was a really interesting one, because it wasn't necessarily a script that was made up. I was reading a real review that they'd given me.
Oh right, okay.
And I was acting as that customer in a dentist office. So that was really cool, and I did one for a doctor's office as well. And I think that changes it. You know, adverts can be those sort of more factual things. I think when you're doing, I mean, NHS, I imagine that was a sort of similar sort of vibe of the, like, you know, they're going for that upbeat but clinical kind of setting.
It was very strange. It was all down to like personal feelings and that sort of thing. It was very much a look inward kind of situation. It wasn't too clinical.
Right. Okay. Interesting. No, I mean, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I think, you know, there's, you know, video games, capture, audiobooks. Audiobooks are becoming such a big thing now. Like, I'm seeing a lot more roles being cast for just voices in audiobooks. You know, and that's, well, actually, good work.
I was talking, just to quickly, like, I was actually to counter this. I was talking to my agent actually about audio, and they said that it's a really good idea just to pick up a book, start reading it, and put it onto either your Spotlight or whatever you're using to promote yourself. Put it on your Spotlight and then add it as an audio reel, because you can just do that, and I don't think a lot of people know that, and I think that's okay.
And I think people, and it doesn't even have to be a script. Like, it can just be a book. You know, you can just pick up Harry Potter and do it.
Children's books.
Yeah, children's books are the really best good. Because going back to character voices, it gives you the best range. You know. I mean, this is going to be really weird, but one of the best examples of that is CBeebies bedtime stories. You know, where they get famous actors in who come and read children's books, and that's There's an aspect of them being on camera, you know, and then cutting to animation, but like they're giving it their all, and I think that's a great example of what you can do as an audio reel. Like just do something like that, because that's massive. You know, it shows you your range. It shows you that you can be engaging, that you can project, that you can do a character voice, that you know you can sound, you know, entertaining to a younger audience, while also keeping that dramatic tone of like, let's not get too excited because we're going to bed soon. You know, whatever material you're using, I'd always recommend picking up something that you've read before. I wouldn't necessarily recommend being like, oh, I'm going to go to Waterstones and I'm just going to buy the first book and that's what I'm going to do. Because that's not helping you. That's not helping you demonstrate, what your range is. Because I think ultimately the best way that you can show off your voice in voice acting as a performer is to read something that you are intimately familiar with. If Harry Potter is your favorite book series, I know I pronounce Harry Potter. But if Harry Potter is your favorite book series, read Harry Potter. Because you know it so well. You're not going to doubt yourself. You're not going to mispronounce words. And you are entertained by it. And if you are entertained by it, you're going to sound entertaining. Just like, you said, like, history stuff is very me. Yeah.
Yeah, it really
doesn't work for everyone. And I think that's what you've kind of got to... You've got to stick to that. You've got to stick to what you know and keep it within, that knowledge base. Yeah.
I wanted to talk about, obviously, we've all done auditions.
Yeah.
And sometimes they go really well. Sometimes you get the job. But sometimes they go horrendously.
I've had a couple of them.
They have happened, but I wanted to talk about... I will talk about mine. I will talk about mine.
You're happy to embarrass yourself.
I think we should lead by example. Okay. So, I'll set the scene. I'm about... How old was I now? I must have been about 14.
Okay. So
like 14, 15 actually.
Like 2 years ago then.
Oh yeah, only a couple of years ago. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. No, like I must have been about 14, 15, and I went for a role, and my dad took me because obviously I couldn't drive at this point. So my dad takes me to this. I think it's in a school. I think it's in a school that I went to. So anyway, I've read the script. I know what I'm doing, and I'm outside the room really. Yeah. There's like a line of us anyway, like auditioning for these roles, and my this woman and her son, we're just chatting away to my dad and me, and I'm looking over at her son, thinking, oh wow, this must be for one of the younger parts. I wasn't aware there were any younger parts than mine. So anyway, I'm not thinking anything of it. And then,
I think I know where this might be going.
The realization comes in that I think I'm auditioning for a role that's for an 8-year-old. And I'm 14 or 15 at this point, and I'm looking around thinking, hang on, something's gone wrong here. So I go into the room. I go into the room, and this is no word of a lie. I go in, and I there's an instant atmosphere in the room, and the panel basically say to me, right, well, unfortunately,
it sounds like you've just walked into a cowboy saloon. The doors swing open, the panel goes silent, the creaks on the floorboard.
I feel like Buddy in amongst all the elves when he's like Via. And anyway, so the panel basically say, look, kid.
Kid.
Well, I don't know if
you wanted to be kid, but you're not really.
He said, they said, you're probably not going to get this role.
Okay.
But let's treat this as an experience for you, as an audition. So I do the rest of the audition, and then I leave knowing full well that my agent at the time has put me for this role, and it's for an 8-year-old. And I walked out the room knowing
booked you. It was something that your agent booked you for.
It was my agent at the time.
Okay, agent at the time.
At the time, and yeah. So basically, I walked out of that room knowing I wasn't going to get it, and that was the end of that. So there you go.
Okay, that's a fun one.
Yeah.
That's a fun one. I mean, I can tell mine if you'd like. If you've got some set up, we can talk about them. But I'm more than happy to lead from example if you'd like.
I have got some set up.
Okay, cool.
But I would like to hear yours.
Yeah, no, that's fine. So actually, funnily enough, the example I'm going to give is from when we were at uni. You've probably heard this before, but so University of Cumbria. when you're you have to go through an audition period rather than an interview. You do an audition, which makes
You remember
sense.
this?
Yeah,
I do remember.
And they ask you to prepare one classical and one Shakespearean piece as a monologue. And I was like, cool, that's fine, no problem. I'm going to do one from Julius Caesar, my countrymen, we're going to be fine. So I go in and I do my contemporary. It goes well, nail that. And then I start saying my Shakespearean one. And halfway through, I realise I don't remember the next line.
Right.
And I'm thinking, oh God, that's fine. I'll just blag it. I know what the next I need to get to. I will just blag it. And truly, I blagged it, right? I don't think...
Yeah.
Well, you'll realise. I don't think anyone could have realised that I'd blagged it. I think I nailed it. I didn't stutter. I didn't stumble. I kept the wording correct. I actually used... I kind of repeated a few lines here and there, but kept it different enough so that, it felt like it fitted in. And I did actions that I'd never rehearsed, but they felt natural. And eventually,
in the moment.
Eventually, and it was only about 30 seconds, right? It wasn't like a really long, the piece itself is about a 4-minute monologue, but it was only about 30 seconds. And eventually my brain kicks back in and goes, oh, this is the next line. I obviously said something that sort of triggered a memory. I was like, cool, that's fine. So I got back onto track, finished it, thought I nailed it, smash it, right? So I sit down. And the panel consists of just one person, and which ended up being and spoiler, I got it, but ended up being one of our lecturers, lecturers, who started off saying, "You did really well. I just want you to know, I'm the Shakespeare expert." And I know that you didn't do that correctly. And I'm thinking, oh my God. Oh no. This is the worst thing ever. And he goes, yeah, and the thing is, what made it so much worse is he identified the wording in the line where I stopped being accurate and where I started being accurate again.
I cannot fathom that.
He pointed it
at about that detail.
He wasn't even like, oh, I just know you did it wrong. He word for word went, so you started here, you sort of went all the way here, and then we got to here. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is the worst. And when I finished that monologue, I'm like, no one knows Shakespeare that well. Julius Caesar is not one of the... It's a popular one, but it's not one of the most performed ones. It's not like I'm doing Romeo and Juliet. But just being sat there and having someone so finely, dissect what you've done wrong, and I'm thinking, that's it. I've not got this. This is it for me. He's going to tell me that I've not got it, and eventually he turns around and goes, well, actually, you did a really good job, and actually, if it was anyone other than me, I don't think anyone would ever notice that that you'd messed up, and so I think we'd love to offer you, a place, and I'm like, great, that's right. But I went away, but I think I got that by the skin of my teeth, It was a roller coaster of an audition. Yeah, I'm gonna say that.
I remember you. Yeah, remember you talking to me about that. That's Yeah.
And then to make it worse, it was funny. We can laugh about it. I think one of our first lectures with him, he was like, "Oh, the guy who can't do Shakespeare."
That's so funny.
And I'm like, "Oh no."
That's good, Nick.
But no, I mean, excellent professor. Shout out to Mr. James S. Is it? Oh my God, I can't speak. Yeah. So that's my audition horror story, which ended up being positive. Some of them do. But go ahead. You've got some.
We carry on.
You've got some for us, right?
I've got a few for us, and I'm actually quite excited about sharing some of these with you.
Okay. I'm gonna be your
I've
willing. I'm
found-
gonna be your willing audience. I'm excited.
Okay, so I found some interesting ones,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to start off with this one. This is the story of a person who was on the panel
Okay.
for
Yeah.
an audition.
Mhm.
Because as we know, these things go both ways.
Absolutely.
This person has put auditions for Jack the Ripper.
Okay.
We had just seen everyone scheduled, and then this woman walked in, came over to the panel's table, and jiggled her boobs in my face, repeatedly saying over and over, "I want to be a prosy, I want to be a prosy." When I asked if she'd like to read from the actual audition sides, she said no, and walked out. She later complained that we didn't cast her.
Oh.
Like, what? I know.
No, that can't be real.
I don't.
That's insane.
I mean, I'm
who
just
does
reading
that? You.
I don't.
I mean,
Was it you?
it was me. I'm
Was
sorry.
it you?
I got my boobs out, but no, like, that's insane. I mean, I thought it's not unheard of. You know, I mean, we had someone at university who was like a guest lecturer thing. Who always used to tell the story of that they went up on a train to wherever they were going, and they were part of an interview panel, and they got on the train, and the ticket that they had was for a seat opposite this young woman who had her feet up, and she refused to move, and he had to go find somewhere else. He gets to the audition, does the whole day, she walks in, and her heart drops.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you hear coincidences and weird stuff like that happening all the time, you know.
Just be nice to people.
Yeah, just be nice to everybody.
You never know.
But weird stuff happens in panels and auditions. So yeah, I mean, it's nuts, but I can believe it.
So anyway, I've got now. These ones that I found are actually from famous people.
Oh, okay. I'm going to see if I can figure out. Does it say who it is in it, or am I going to be able to, like? Do I have to try and figure out?
Do you want to guess?
I kind of want to make a game of it. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
Fine.
let's
All
do
right,
it.
okay. So basically, I have actually verified
Ooh, okay.
that these
Lloyd has done
are
research.
real
I'm proud of him. He's never done
So I
research
didn't
in his
wanna-
life.
I didn't want to come across and say these famous people have done this, done that,
Yeah, and then be
without
proved wrong.
knowing,
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
Anyway,
I'm ready.
so
Let's do it.
this actor tried out for The Fly 2. He read from the scene where Martin Brundle was in a cocoon transforming into a fly.
Okay.
While pretending to choke, this actor ended up on the floor frothing at the mouth. When he got home, there was already a message on his answering machine from his agent that said, "What the hell did you do in there? You scared them."
You scared them. Oh my god. And this is a big actor, famous actor.
This is a big actor, yeah.
Big actor. Someone who obviously does a lot of. It's not Jim Carrey. No, it wouldn't be like Jim Carrey. Someone like that. I'm trying to think of people who like do big, like over the top performances and things like that. No, I'm never gonna get it. Go for it.
Josh Brolin.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that. Well done, Josh Brolin.
Ended up on the floor frothing at the mouth.
Well done for scaring your audition panel.
He's
Great.
turning
Did he
into
get
a
it? Just
fly.
I mean, no, he obviously didn't get it, but because I don't think he was
went
in.
to another actor.
Yeah, I don't think he was in it, but yeah, that's pretty nuts. That's insane that the the agent has rung him, being like, "What are you doing?
What did you do?
What did you do in there?" That's when you know it's been bad.
So that was
Yeah.
that was Josh Brolin,
Cool,
right?
alright,
Right. I
yeah.
want to do another one for you, right? This actor auditioning for Kylo Ren in Star
Ooh.
Wars: The Force Awakens was a childhood dream come true.
Okay.
However, it's also a disaster because after he was told he was reading for the baddie, he put some ridiculous voices on. The casting director was not impressed with the different versions of the kind of Darth Vader voice sound. The casting director then said to him, "Have you got any more?" And this actor went, "No." And the casting director went, "Would you like to leave now?"
Would you like to leave now?
Yes, that's for the best.
Oh no. Oh no, it's not like someone like Daniel Radcliffe, is it, or something like that?
You're not too far off
Okay.
in the wizarding world.
In the wizard, is it? Oh, I can't remember his name, but the guy who plays Ron.
No,
Okay, I'm not
so
gonna get it. Tell me, go for it.
it's Eddie Redmayne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, it is hard. I mean, Star Wars is one of those things. I mean, is it Ewan McGregor that plays Obi-Wan? Like they all, he was like, you know, like they had to like keep telling him not to do it, or like cut his audio when he was recording because they couldn't help it. So it's hard. I think I'd do the same.
I think so this one.
Okay.
I think you're gonna get this one.
Ooh.
I do think you're gonna get this one.
I love your confidence, but I'm not. But I thank you.
Right. Okay. Ready?
I'm so ready.
2 years into playing a character, this actor auditioned to play young Han Solo in Solo. But halfway through it, the casting director stopped this actor and said, "Why aren't you looking at me?" This actor then realised he'd gotten into the habit of not making eye contact because the only thing this actor had played for the past 2 years was someone who was blind.
It's Daredevil Charlie Cox.
It's Charlie Cox. Yeah.
I knew that one. I don't remember the audition, but I remember him saying one of his backstage things is that he got so used to not looking at people that he had to retrain himself to
looking at the director. Yeah. Which is insane.
Why aren't you looking at me? Look at me. Look at me.
But he's looking off like look,
doing his
scene.
Him. That's brilliant. No, that's brilliant. Cool. So look, it's not just regular folk like us that get it wrong. Everyone gets it wrong, and that's
everyone gets it wrong.
Be nice to everybody. Something that we think is really important. We've talked about reading from scripts and doing practice like that. But like when you're doing auditions, a lot of the time it's not as regular now, but it used to be
regular now.
It used to be quite regular, where you would get a cold read. They'd give you a script that you've not really seen before. You might get 2 minutes to have a look over it, and then you've got to perform it, and they kind of judge you on that. And so we're going to do some cold reads. We've decided that at the end of every episode, we'll do we'll read a script that we've never seen before. It's from someone, one of our writer friends, or one of our producers, or someone that has submitted a script to us that we're not going to see before. And yeah, I've got it up in front of me. From what I can see so far, the title is "Get Thee to a Nunnery" by Josh Dixon.
Josh Dixon.
Indeed. We've got some stage directions. We've got 2 characters. We've got Fred and Lucas. Who would you like to be? And would you like to do the stage directions?
Well, I'll let you have the first line.
Okay. I love the first line.
I know you like
that.
having the first line.
So does that mean that you're doing the stage directions?
Yes, I'll do the stage directions and I'll play Lucas.
Okay, so I'm Fred. Got it.
Fred sits in a pub. He sips his refreshing lager beer. His best friend Lucas walks in.
All right, mate. Fancy a beer?
Not today, mate.
What are you talking about? You love beer.
I know.
You love beer more than you love your kids. That's why you called your son Beer Moretti.
I know. The thing is, I can't stay for long.
Why not?
Oh, emotional. Fred, I'm here to say goodbye.
Lucas, what's the matter?
I'm in trouble.
What's happened?
I slapped a nun in the face. Fred spits out his beer.
You slapped a nun in the face?
Yeah.
What on earth would you do that for?
She slapped me first, and it really hurt.
Why did she slap you?
She saw me on the street, asked for a donation, and I said, "You're having none of my money." Get it? None of my money. Prepare laugh quickly. The thing is, I'm going to prison.
For how long?
25 years.
For slapping a nun? But she slapped you first.
There's something I need to tell you. I have special powers.
Oh, this'll be good.
When I slap someone, when I slap someone, my hand, it's so powerful. It causes them to explode.
Very funny.
I'm serious. She exploded right in front of me.
Oh, yeah. And may she rest in pieces.
Fred, you're not listening to me.
Right, go on then. Slap me. Prove it.
If I slap you, you'll explode.
I don't believe you. Go on. Slap me.
I won't.
Go on. Slap me. Slap me right in the face.
You won't survive.
Slap me.
All right. Lucas slaps Fred. Sure enough, Fred explodes. I told you.
Fred explodes.
Okay.
I did not. Okay. Right. First of all, didn't think it would be a comedy. I don't know why I didn't think it would be a comedy. Because it's called Get Thee to a Nunnery, and that feels very, in hindsight, feels very comedy.
Yeah.
But
I mean, my accent changed halfway through.
I think my accent changed when your accent changed, and then it went back. And I halfway through, I was like, I've changed what I'm saying. I'm gonna go back.
I don't know. I clocked onto it. Like, I don't know whether it was before or after Bira Moretti. But
Bira
it was
Moretti
like, okay.
Did
At some point, I
unironically
was
make me
like,
laugh.
right. Yeah, I need to change up. I need to change it up. But
I didn't expect.
The idea
I didn't expect. I slapped a nun in the face. That line caught me off guard. In all fairness,
I slapped the nun in the face. And it needed
you're
to be a silly
you're
song.
getting none of my money.
Oh come on! I know. You're getting none of my money. Get it?
Oh,
None of my. Oh gosh.
brilliant. Love it. Well, yeah. I mean, love
that.
it. That was Get Thee to a Nunnery by Josh Diction. Thank you very
Diction.
much. Diction.
Yeah.
I can't speak today. I
It's
can't get my
interesting that
diction out.
Diction. I was just saying, it's interesting that you used the word diction when you pronounce that wrong.
Yeah.
Just to close off, I want to say a couple of things. I just want to say, like, obviously, this is something that we're going to definitely enjoy making.
Yeah.
We hope that it's something that everyone out there is going to enjoy listening to or watching. And I think the main goal of this was to basically have a place where we could all just have a chat. And there are channels available if you want to have a chat with us, you want to say something to us, there are channels available because we want this to feel like a community that we can all chat and rub along together with. And I think that's what I certainly wanted from this.
And give us your experiences as well. You know, there's it's all well and good us giving our experiences, but like everyone is different, and it would be really nice to hear from other people, and you know, and you know, if you want us to read a script from you, you know, get people's work out there, and you know, enjoy a community together. I think it would be really nice, and hopefully this is something that people are interested in. You're interested. I mean, if you're listening to this part.
Hopefully by now.
Hopefully, you obviously enjoyed it. So please stick around.
So if anyone is interested in listening to us chat absolute rubbish for just under an hour or so,
and it is absolute rubbish.
But come by, spend some time with us, because we this is something we will enjoy doing, and we would love to have your input on it as well.
Yeah,
I think that's a nice place to leave things,
and be really, really nice to everyone.
Be nice to everyone as much as you can. You never know when that guy sitting across the table at you on the train is going to be on the audition panel at your next audition. Yeah, you know,
absolutely. But well, it's been lovely, Lloyd. Thank you for joining me.
And thank you for joining me on my podcast.
Thank you. It was lovely to be here. Am I allowed back next time? Did I do a good enough job?
Well,
Are we still in
we'll be in
review?
talk.
Yeah,
We'll be in talk.
We'll
be in
we'll
talk.
be in talk.
Don't call us. We'll call you.
I've heard that too many times.
Yes. We'll call you. Yeah,
Lovely.
don't contact me.
Well, on that note, everybody, it's been wonderful, and goodbye. Say goodbye, Lloyd.
Goodbye.
You have been listening to Off Script, Episode 1. Off Script is presented by Ben Sharp and Lloyd Mitchell. Edited by Ryan Krogan. Executive producers for Minor Spillage Productions, Ryan Krogan and Josh Dixon.